All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Ovando Running Podcast. This week, I have my friend Walter Bueno joining us. What's up, Walter? How's it going?
Hey Tim, it's going great. Just enjoying the weekend here. You?
Yep, that holiday weekend, yes, sir. Yeah, thanks for coming on the podcast, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. That is awesome.
Um,
First podcast ever.
Sweet. So, just some achievements that Walter has completed in his running career. So, first off, he's done the ABC 50 miler back in 2022. He has placed third place at the Pirates Cove 6 hour in 2024. That's actually where we met. And his most recent achievement, he just ran his first 100 miler, Javelina Jundred, where he was a charity runner and he raised money for Rising Hearts, and he raised $4,255. That's really cool, man.
It was a great time.
Awesome. I bet we'll get into that like a little bit later in the episode, but I just kind of want to talk. So, how long have you been running for, and when did you start?
So I started running when at the age of 14. Um, Technically, if I really stretch it out, probably like when I was 10 with elementary school track meets and whatnot, but never really focused on it until I was 14, coming into high school, and that was 24 plus years ago now. So it's been a crazy journey. Started off with cross country. It was just something that I saw a bunch of teenagers running around my neighborhood, so I knew what they were doing. Got interested, reached out to the coach, began running, and enjoyed it, and really didn't discover the love of it till in my 20s, probably. Um, High school just did it because I knew I was good at it. Ideally, I was focused on the 800 in track, and that was my sweet spot there. And I just got out of competition phase, and after a year of cross country with Cuyamaca, and then started family, but kept on running, and that was just always the constant in my life was run. Did my first full marathon when I was 24, San Diego Rock and Roll, which is the only rock marathons I've done have been here in San Diego. And then didn't do my first trail race technically until 2020. I think it was 2010 or 2012 was like my first cross country or trail race. Xterra Mission Gorge, which they don't do anymore, sadly, or Xterra Mission Trails. Sorry. And then just kept on running halves, full marathons, 5Ks, 15Ks, and then wasn't until after my marriage failed that I started running the trails more exclusively, and met my good friend Jessica, convinced me to do my first trail ultra, which was Pirates Cove 12 hours, and met San Diego Trail Runners through Tyler, and just kept on going and just haven't stopped, and no plans of stopping. Running is just a constant that's in my life.
That's awesome. That's a long journey that you've got there. I kind of just want to go back. So you said the 800. You really like the 800. I mean, I never got to run track in high school, but from what I've heard, a lot of people say that the 800 is like arguably one of the toughest events. Is Would you agree with that, or what are your thoughts on that?
It is 800 meters of pure sprint with just enough wiggle room to make adjustments. That's the best way I was able to describe it. Um, as soon as the gun goes off, you're going. You have time to think of your work on your pace quickly. If you're not where you should be in 100 meters. You have another 700 meters to adjust it. And after you gotta wait till that first loop. When you first done with the first loop, you have to really go. It is pure adrenaline for the 800, in my opinion. And it was fun. It was fun, but I can't run anything near like 3 minutes anymore for the 800. I have slowed down tremendously.
But it's more fun on the trails, right?
Oh yeah, it is endless fun on the trails. Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's the thing too.
100% agree on that.
In high school, I knew I was going to end up going into trails. And my coach, a great guy, great coach, he told me about a couple of the ultras out there, the big ones, Western States, Leadville. There was another one he told me about. I can't remember off the top of my head anymore. So I knew. Oh, Badwater, that's what it was. So
Yeah.
I knew about this world when I was a teenager, and I'm excited. I'm actually in it now.
That's pretty cool. So like you've known about ultras for like a pretty long time. I mean, was when you first heard about Western States, were you kind of like I want to do that someday?
More so for Leadville and Badwater. Like those two are on bucket list items for me. Huge races and just hard races from what I've heard from others that have done them. So those two are more like the the big mystic races.
What so like Leadville, if you could pick between doing Leadville or Badwater, which one would you choose?
Ooh, Badwater. Because
And and
I have a
why
feeling
is
it's
that?
probably
Cuz I know it's mostly on the road.
yeah. Um, the the harsh conditions of it probably that's what would appeal me to do it. 100+ degree weather, sun just beaming down on you, no coverage at all, and it's just get across that valley and get to Whitney. Yeah, that sounds a little bit more appealing to me than high altitude.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it definitely is. That heat is gonna test you for sure, and you're gonna find out what you're really made of out there. So that's cool, man. Well, hopefully someday you'll get to do one of them or both of them. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, so boom, you do your 50 miler in 2022, and then did you do any like a 50K or anything? What about that Xterra one? How long was that?
Xterra, that was a 15K, I believe, and it would start off all over like the horse corrals. You went up the Widowmaker. If you know emission trails, you go up the Widowmaker, and you hit both north and then loop back around to South Fortuna. So you're going up the stairs on South Fortuna, which is what we call a stairway to heaven, and it's just I hate them no matter what. Every single time I go up them, and then it looped back down to Widowmaker through Oak Canyon and by the dam towards the finish. So yeah, it was a fun one. It was a good new change, and yeah,
Yeah, and if you're not from the San Diego area, those stairs that he's talking about are intense. Like it's literally like at some sections I would say you're having to like use your hands at some point to like go up it. It's intense.
yeah. Every time I hate those. I hate them. Great training, but just absolutely hate them.
Yeah, it kicks your ass for sure. Okay, so you do that, and then did you say that you did, was it the 12 hour before you did the 50 miler at Pirates?
Yep. My first ultra
Okay.
was Pirates Cove 12 hour.
And then how far did you get in that?
That one was my first 50K. It was like
Okay.
32 miles. It was like one of the second to last bad weather years that they had previously in the past 5 years. And at hour 7, my hip flexor was really acting up on me. The terrain was all messed up from the snow, the rain from earlier in the day, and that just chewed up the course. So I stopped at hour. I think I actually did stop at hour 10, if I can remember correctly. Hip started acting up at 7. Kept on going to hour 10, and then that was it. So 30. I think I got 32 or 36 miles.
Okay, nice. So then after you finish your first 50K, were you like, I'm not doing that again, or was it immediately like, I want to go more?
Immediately, I want to go more. and,
Yeah,
and
that's
especially thanks to the trail running community. The best way I can describe it is, and I love describing it this way, is the best group of bad influences. Highly supportive of everything you do, and they will convince you to do more, convince you to do harder.
you could finish like we'll just go with whatever you finish a 50K, and then someone's like, I mean, I do this too. I'm like, you could probably do a 100 miler after that,
Yeah,
like for sure. And then say the runner isn't really like digging it. I'll just tell them like, just give it a couple days. You'll be scrolling ultra sign up, looking for the next one.
yeah,
But yeah, that's awesome, man. Pirates Cove, I love Pirates Cove. Luckily, I haven't hit it in a bad weather year, but I've seen like pictures where it's just super crappy out there and snow,
yeah,
like destroyed course. But
yeah.
yeah,
That
hopefully I
was
never have to hit that.
yeah, that was my first ultra. Was like the first 3 hours. You had light snow, sleet, 30 degrees or something like that, sideways wind just blowing at you, just horrible weather that I don't like to run in. Apart from rain, snow is new to me. I'm born and raised in San Diego and El Cajon, so it's just we don't get snow ever. Um, but yeah, it was just that was my introduction to ultras. Bad conditions.
That that's awesome because then now I feel like whenever you go into a race that's, nicer weather and you're not having to deal with all that crap, it's like it just feels easier. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
it's kind of nice you got that out of the way. Okay, so you finish 12 hour and then you're like, I want to do a 50 miler. So you sign up for ABC 50, and how was that? How was the 50-mile experience for you?
that was literally I signed up probably about 2 weeks before ABC happened. The first time around, so it was my training going into that. I think my longest run was 18 miles, but I just did math in my head. Plus, with the base of 20 plus years of running, it's like I know I could run this. I could do this. My is capable of it. I did the math with Pirates Cove, which was all right. 10 hours. I got up to 30 something miles, so it's like another, yeah, probably another 6 more hours to get up to 50. I could do that. So went into it. So that Pirates Cove was an experience. Let's see, a lot of cramping, in my calves, shins, my hip a little bit. Um, Still new to ultras, so didn't quite knew like hydration patterns, nutrition. Um, the aid station still not like knew too much about. So I think I had like a bunch of goos in my vest. And what was I doing for electrolytes? I think I was just doing water. So I that will explain like a lot of the cramping. Um, Going down or flame. So after mile, what's that? 35, like mile 40 or such.
I think
Uh,
around there, yeah.
yeah, I remember it's dark. I got the headlight on, and tripped forward, and when I fell down, just my whole body just seized up and cramped up, and so I can remember all that from being dehydrated and not having the proper electrolytes. And then the last like quarter mile of the race, my headlamp went out. My battery died on me. So luckily enough, there was a someone else's pacer was right next to me, so I was able to tag on her and come on in into the finish at like 14:40 something. Like I had like 15 minutes left to cut off for it.
Hey, but you still made it.
Still made it.
It sounds like you had quite the experience in that one.
Yeah, it was great. I love ABC.
And then you've gone back and you've done that one. What?
Yeah.
How? It's the second time or third? Or how
So
many
the
times
sec
total?
I done it twice. I was supposed to do it um, the following year from my first one, so that was 2022, 2023. Yeah, 2023. I was supposed to do it, but in training, I fell, banged my knee hard, and like worried that I tore something because it was the worst like knee issue that I had. But luckily enough, it was just a bruised bone, but it didn't heal up in time, and so I was able to defer it to 2024. 2024 from mile 18 to 42, I believe it was 24 miles of death march. I I started off great. I knew what I was doing. Had a better idea of like foods, electrolytes, pacing. I knew not to go fast anymore, and but I think it was more of a mental issue. Plus, maybe the timing of my nutrition and hydration that just screwed me over for 20 plus miles of just death march. Um, and then I didn't feel better until I got to the desert. Once when I got into the desert, finally I started feeling better again. Started moving with ease. Um, Received a phone call from a former student athlete of mine that just motivated me tremendously and just got me into that finish. Still PR'd though. I think I beat my time by 20 minutes from the first one.
There you go.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and it's like if people don't know the ABC course, it's not like it gets easier once you get down onto the desert floor either because it's just you're running in a bunch of sand.
yeah.
So
But
to
it
be able to
was
like still keep moving good after that, that's pretty awesome. That's
yeah.
impressive.
It was beautiful though. Like even though I was struggling for 20 miles, once when I got down to the canyons, um, I didn't turn on my headlight. Still, I ran for until I got up to the desert floor. So out of the canyons, I got up onto the desert um, with just the night light with the stars and the moon. It was just so beautiful. Yeah, but a lot of people asked me afterwards, well, why I kept on 20 miles of death march. I'm I'm a stubborn person, and I'm not going to DNF my or drop out of a race unless I don't make the cutoffs. So I knew I was ahead of cutoffs, and it's just like keep on going until they pull me off the course. I'm not going to pull myself off.
There you go. Yeah, that's the way to do it, man. And I will have to agree with you. If there's a moon out and you're out running and you can run without a headlamp, it's so much better. I
Yep.
feel like it just like keeps you um more engaged too. Like if you're
Oh
getting
yeah.
kind of tired, you kind of have to stay on your toes because like you can't just like zone out with the headlamp. You have to be like watching where you're stepping.
Yeah. Watch where you step, and then uh, for me, it's a better sense of like the nature, the environment around you, being more part of it, of being the wild of outside.
Yeah, you feel like more one, huh?
Yep.
One with nature type deal. So I kind of want to go back to you said student athlete. So you've I'm assuming, I mean, I know you coached before, but how long have you coached athletes, like, and what level?
So for about 10 years, I was a off-campus coach, high school coach for both cross country and track at my alma mater high school. So gave back to what, or I gave back to a program that gave me so much and gave me a purpose in running, and I felt like returning it back to the next generations of runners out there. So that was for
Yeah, that's awesome.
2023 through 22 now. I think so. I still help around with the high school, so
And then when you get a call, do they still say like, "Hey, coach," or they're like,
I'm
"Hey,
still
what's up,
coach.
coach?"
Yep.
Yeah, that's funny, man.
I'll forever be coach. Knowing you're coaching as well, you'll forever be known as coach.
That's cool. And the kids, like, do they think what do they think of you running the ultras? Do they think it's
Inspiring.
cool, or do you think you're crazy, or?
Both. Very inspiring to them. I still keep in contact with a bunch of them, and it's great seeing them actually out there doing running still, running at their first marathons, their half marathons, um, being part of a community up in LA and such. So it's I feel accomplished knowing that my ultimate goal of creating lifelong runners um, was made with these few athletes of mine.
Yeah, dude, I 100% feel like what you're saying because it's like, yeah, they're the next generation of runners, and then when I mean, it's sometimes even the my athletes inspire me.
Yeah,
Like when I hear them saying, I just had two of my athletes tell me, "Hey, I'm gonna go. We're gonna do Carlsbad half, like next year or whatever." And I was like, man, that's awesome. Like you kind of just got me fired up to do more stuff too.
yeah, yeah. It was last year at holiday half. I was walking around and then I noticed, oh, hey, Dominique, it's so great to see you. Oh my goodness, I haven't seen this athlete in years, and to see them out on the start line was just great.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Awesome. All right, so let's get into like the main chunk of this episode, Javelina 100. Um, so you decide to take the charity bib. How was that, like raising the money for Javelina?
So, um, I saw the pro when searching for my first 100 to do. I was last year, 2024. I established, all right, 2025. Let's do the 100. Let's find out which 100 I want to do. Looked around, looked at Kodiak, looked at Born to Run, looked out in like Colorado and Javelina. A lot of friends from the community. I've done it multiple years, so it's just like it kept on. SD 100 was another one that kept on being brought up, but Javelina just attracted to me more. The atmosphere looked amazing. The desert looked amazing to me. And as I was researching, I saw that there's a charity bib option. And so my thought process was, this is my first 100. I don't want to DNF my first 100. And with my motivation to do my first 100, I was dead certain that I'd be able to have just enough motivation with just that. But as kind of a secondary purpose, um, I I saw that there was a charity bib option, so I was like, let's do something that I have not done before. I'm already doing 100 that I've never done before, but I have never fundraised before. So let's do this. Let's let's go for this charity bib option. Let's attach more of a commitment to do this. And so the Wonder Project, they provided that pathway, and with the selections that they have on like who they partner up with charities, I found Rising Hearts. And this charity I've known about for a couple years now. Jordan, the founder of Rising Hearts, I've heard her message years prior about the injustices towards the indigenous communities, missing and murdered indigenous sisters, um, and as I read further more about Rising Hearts, their inclusivities and bringing in um, people of color and indigenous disabilities into the world, into the running world, and into the and such, um, I resonated with that. So I chose them to fundraise for. Um, and so the commitment was $4,000, which is, well, I've seen others that are higher than that. Boston, I believe, has a very big charity goals. Uh, but it was just like, all right, I have extra purpose to do this, and with the fundraising, it was just absolute fun. It really was fun for me to do. Um, I it was never anything I'd done before, so it's just like, let's create ideas here. Um, I'll put up a flyer. I'll attach it to my cooler for all the group runs. Get the word out there. Networked with the trail communities, all the groups that we have. They were extremely helpful. Um, just try to be as engaging for it. And the best highlight of it was um, the month of March, the goal of reaching $500, and coming up with the idea of signing up for Pirates Cove 12 hours and extend the challenge of donate $50 and you get to pick an outfit for me to wear for 1 hour at Pirates Cove. And so I wore 11 outfits at Pirates Cove, starting off with a bikini, which is absolutely the best highlight that everybody has of that race, which got me the best costume award at Pirates Cove this year. Um, Fishnets, tutus, a brassiere, a hot dog suit. It was just absolute fun. Um, and then
Yeah,
it sparked a conversation.
anyone that was at Pirates Cove this year, that's literally what they're gonna remember it as. Because I was there and I was like,
Yep.
yep, that's what I remember Pirates Cove as. Walter's costume run. That's what I'm gonna call it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it sparked up the conversations, which was the best part. Like, oh, why all these costumes? Well, this is what I'm doing. I'm fundraising. I'm a charity bid runner, and this is the cause and everything. And I was able to exceed $500 for the month of March from after Pirates Cove. Getting a couple more donations out of that. made more connections, more friends out of that as well. And then got a lot of help from endurance racing series and San Diego Trail Runners um, with the donations. I held a fundraiser, fund run in July. July, yeah, it
I
was
think,
July.
yeah.
Yeah, it was right before Locatio, and then that week building up to the fundraiser was it moved fast because it was I think I was like $700 away from my goal. Then a big check came in from or a big donation came in from ERS and SDTR. Then it like dropped down to just hundreds, and I was semi in panic mode before that came in because it was like, all right, I got 3 more months to raise this money. I have other plans coming up with working for with alongside another race director and such. And after the fundraiser, I was over my goal, and then still kept on getting more donations afterwards. So it was amazing to do that.
So, say for example, you're getting close to your race and like you're not close to your goal. What happens? You just have to pay the difference or how does that
Yeah.
work?
Um, with Wander Project and a couple other programs that I looked up, yeah, it's usually you pay the difference, whatever you don't fundraise and such. Other charities, it's you raise this much, then you raise this much. Uh, but yeah, it was going to be out of my pocket. So it was either like, all right, either it's going to be $100 I gotta pay the difference, or it's going to be more than the actual race fee, race entry.
Yeah. I like that too, how you were kind of saying it's like for when it's another thing to think about, say, when you're out on a 100 miler and you're kind of maybe thinking about quitting. That's just kind of another reason not to quit because I don't know, for me, when I'm out there and I have like crew out there crewing me and I feel like I want to quit, I just feel like I wasted their time like
Yeah,
supporting me, and I think that's awesome, because that's another thing where it's like you're out there and you start thinking, man, like these people like put hope in me that I could get this done. They like supported me through it, and it's just like another reason not to quit.
yeah,
So that's awesome,
yeah. That
man.
was the big message.
Cool. So okay, so you get the fundraiser done. Like, what's training looking like during all this? Did you have like a specific plan? Like, what's going on through your mind at that point?
So a lot of conversations I had with myself and with others, well, with myself particularly, was should I get a coach? Um, I spoke with a couple other friends that have done it. They've talked about coaches and such and how it helped them out, and gave me some suggestions and such. But it was ultimately myself. I decided not to do the coaching. One, because financials, and two, just I don't know if I'd be able to stick to a regimented plan. Um, my life's just absolutely busy with a bunch of other stuff, family, work, other commitments and such. So it's just I want to make sure that I spent my time with my sons when I have them. So I decided I I know my body. I know how to get mileage, and but what I did do a lot of was picking other people's minds. Those that have done hundreds, I picked everybody's mind. Mileage, uh, food, training, sleep patterns. Like I picked so many people's minds that I've done hundreds. And so I just kind of tailored that to myself, get as much running as I can get in. But at the beginning of the year, I knew that my biggest challenges for this, that would be my make or breaks, was going to be my nutrition, my hydration, and then later on, I figured it out was my mental state. So food and nutrition, I focused so hard this year because I'm used to running on empty stomachs. I'll do 10 plus 10, 15, 20 plus miles on very little food. So I made sure to figure that out, figure out my timing, what works with my stomach, what didn't work with my stomach, um, and then yeah, particularly how much spaced time between taking nutrition, taking my water, taking my electrolytes. That was my big focus of the year. Then it wasn't until September. September that like for a whole week I just was in a horrible mental place. Like, it's just like nothing felt good about running. I felt lazy. I just didn't feel motivated to go out, and every step just ached. Um, so I just went through the week, and then at the end of the week was a nighttime fun run race out in the desert with Imperial Valley Run Club, and so I did that, and that actually kicked me out of that funk. And then after that, it was just like, you know what, that's it. I'm ready to run again. I'm in a good mental place. I need to hold on to this. That was a big change. That was a big game changer for me going into Javelina. So those were my big three focus in training. The whole year, I had at least one race every month, ranging from 15 to 50 miles. So every month I did a race except for July and November. I have one lined up for December, but this was the most racing I've done. And then my
Okay,
longest,
so
yeah,
I kind of want to go back to that desert race. That was that Chupacabra one, wasn't it? Or
Chupacabra, yep.
yep. So what do you think it was that kind of like you think it was kind of just maybe that the community that was out there, or just like what do you think it was that kind of just got you out of that rut that you were in?
Um, Getting out there, it was a desert. It was a training run for sure because it was nighttime. It was pitch black out there. Um, Went out there with a couple of friends. Ran into another friend out there, a race director and such, and it was just such a small group. Like I don't think it was more than 30 people out there. Um, and open desert practically, headlamp, very iffy markings and such, and I ended up just I actually was the very last person to come back in after I think it was 18 miles, 60 miles, 60-mile race or run. I don't remember, but it was just it it just got me out of it. I don't know exactly how it did, but it's just like, alrighty, that's over. This was fun. This was a little bit challenging. I'm tired. Get me home safely. And yeah, it just thankful to been out there with friends.
Yeah, sometimes you just need that, like, just, yeah, being out with your friends, going on a good run, and then it just kind of, you get done and you're just like, okay, like, I'm ready. Like,
Yeah,
on to the next, the big challenge. That's cool, man. I'm glad you got out of that, like, bad headspace, because, man, it sucks when you get in like that and you don't really, something that you've been wanting to do for a while, and you're just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah. A lot of my
Like that's
races this year were
horrible.
like that. A lot of the races I did this year is just like, why am I doing this? This just sucked. Um, at Windfall, the nighttime race we did for with Epic Recess, the first loop I came in, yeah, the first half I was ready to go home. I really was, but thanks to my girlfriend, the support, she was like, "Oh, get back out there." So I was like, "All right, let's get back out there." But I put on some music and that kept me going for the second half. It got the second half ended up being better than the first half. Came
That's
in
good because
listening to ABBA.
I remember I remember talking to Lupita at the start finish, and she was like, "Man, like I don't know if Walter just said he just wants to go home." I was like, "What? No, like you got to tell him to just keep going." And even I was like a little scared. I was like, "Oh man, like I hope he doesn't quit." And then
Yeah,
I think I remember seeing you, and we were just like, "Come on, like go finish the last one," and like you got it done. So, and
yeah.
that race is actually I underestimated that one. That one's tough.
It's so technical, and it. I remember the year before doing doing that race or signed up for that race the same day for South Bay 24. So I did a 6 hour at 24 at South Bay, and I got 28 miles, I think. And then I drove up to the mountains to do a windfall for the 15K, and my legs were just trashed already by then. And I only did the 10 mile 10K loop, the 10K loop. And I was like, Rufus, I'm done. She's like, all right, we'll just dock you down to the 10K. Alrighty, because it took me like an hour, I think like an hour 45 minutes to do a 10K uh, that night. So it was just first time I doubled up in a day, and it proved to be hard.
Hey, at least you got your cookie early though.
Yeah, I
Those
got my
cookies are
cookie.
bomb.
Those are best second. They're tied for best cookies ever.
Yeah, if anyone is looking for a cool, like local small vibe race, Epic Recess. Rufus is an awesome race director. Love her races. Shout out Rufus.
Yep.
Okay, so you get back in a good mindset. You're like, let's do this thing. Race week is coming. It's race week. Like, go ahead and just kind of like break down if no one's ever heard of the Javelina 100 race. Like, what is the like? It's a loop course. What does that consist of?
So Javelina put on by I don't know how to pronounce her name. Arvapa Arviapa
Whatever.
racing
Yeah.
series. Yeah. Um, there it's 5 mile or 5 22 mile loops. The first loop's like 23 or 25. It's a little bit longer than the other four. So 22-ish loops out in Arizona, right outside of Phoenix. We So my crew going into it, it was just going to be my girlfriend Lupita and myself. We have a bunch of friends from South Bay YMCA trail runners and San Diego trail runners that were coming out to run too. So we were able to accrue uh, a team tent space, and we had a couple others from Ultra Buds join us, and a few other San Diego runners join our tents. So I knew we weren't alone, but overall, I was planning on doing the race without any pacers, and just kind of leave it as like last minute if I'm 100% sure I could find somebody to jump in for a loop with me. That's just one of the beauties of these ultras that you can find a pacer last second. Someone's
For sure. Yeah.
someone's always itching to get out for a run. So it's just Lupita and myself. we had our nutrition, we had our food, we had our, our game plan kind of set up. We got out there. We drove out Thursday. No, yeah, Thursday we drove out. Set up the tent. Went back to our hotel. Relaxed. Friday was the shakeout run. A lot of our other friends were showing up, so got to enjoy the ambiance of the Javelina party. Um, Lots of people out there. I met also Sander from the Water Project. He was out there as well. So I was happy to see him and get to meet him and talk about the journey coming into this. A few friends from Rising Hearts that I made throughout the year of web connections and just started soaking up the environment. Um, it's a party out there, and it's held the weekend before Halloween, so costumes are highly encouraged and such. But we were in business mode, so we decided not to do costumes or really get sucked up into the party phase of Javelina. And yeah, so let's see. That was Thursday and Friday. Got the swag that we wanted. Got our fun Javelina shirts, and then it was time to get ready. I was in the best mindset still. I held on to it from Chupacabra into Javelina, going into it. Um, and yeah, went back to the hotel, ate, slept,
Did
got
you actually
ready.
sleep or?
I slept. Yeah, I could sleep. I could sleep anywhere. Um, I'm like you. With roosters and whatnot. I could get into a 10-minute nap very quickly anywhere.
That I think that is a superpower. Then you got to take
Yeah, yeah,
advantage of that. If you ever decide to do longer races, like it's for sure superpower.
yeah. So that's the build up of the week, and then yeah,
You toe the line.
we towed a line. It came to race day, and it's just excitement and little antsy. I was a little antsy to start get going, but I was able to keep it under wraps and tamed. Don't go out fast, of course, and everything. So yeah, got to the line, just excited, nervous, grateful, uh, grateful. Gratitude what is the biggest word I could say for this whole race was gratitude. Um, and so got to the line, gun went off, we're moving, and it's just exciting, so exciting to be there and just finally get out running my first 100 mile. Uh, Looking around, enjoying all the cheers, all the everybody else's wardrobe, their shoes, their kits that they have, their packs, just absorbed it all. And the morning light of the desert coming out and and everything. First loop, I kept the music off and just took in everything that I could, specifically about the trail, because I knew I was going to be on that trail four more times after this loop. So what I like to do is memorize the sections, memorize kind of like the terrain, what sections are going to be sandier, where are the rocks, where I know I could go faster or slower, where the hills are. So I tend to really learn a course, especially if it's a loop course. Um, so that was the whole first loop. Do the walking because I was towards the back of the pack because it goes into a conga line. It always does after for the first 4 miles of the races. If you're ever in a back, Tim, you'll be in a line for a while walking, and
At
after the
least it
first
helps you
loop,
like pace yourself so you don't go
yes,
out too fast. So that's the nice thing.
yeah,
Like
that's what I
you
learned.
definitely won't blow up too early if you do that. So
Yeah, I definitely have learned that from ABC. Don't go out fast. Yeah. So first loop, memorize the course, enjoy the scenery, get to see what's going on at the aid stations. There's three aid stations on the loop: Coyote Camp, Jackass, and Rattlesnake, and they're all spaced out. Let's see, headquarters to Coyote was 4.4 miles, I believe. Then Coyote to Jackass, which is, I will say, the worst section of it, because that's where all the rocks are. That's where the jumping cholla cactus are. But more so, it's that stretch is like six change of miles between each aid station. Then from Jackass to Rattlesnake is five, I believe, was like 5.5 miles apart, and that section was a lot smoother, more of like a nice, almost like a bike path, a little bit more leveled. Then from Rattlesnake back to headquarters for the first loop, I believe it was like another 5 miles, I think. But for loops 2 through 5, it was 3.7 miles back to headquarters. So first loop, got familiar with the course, felt good, felt happy, uh, enjoyed the scenery and the sun. Then loop 2, I was warned is usually the hottest loop out in the desert. The year before it was like over 100 degrees. This year was just perfect weather. It was like mid 80s. Um,
oh,
so
that's
I was
nice. Yeah.
It was nice. Some people still don't like 80s. I like 80s. 80s is great temperature. Um, and then second loop, when I got out of headquarters, it was just like go time. It was alrighty, let's go. Popped on the headphones, turned on Parkway Drive, and just started jamming. Just kept on, moved on smooth through loop 2. Uh, Singing on the course. Some runners may have heard me, don't know, don't care. I was enjoying my run. Um, and yeah, so loop 2 was just a chill course run. Then loop 3, I was doing math in my head. So that I was doing a lot. I was doing a lot of math. How much time do I have? What's the distance between here to there? And so when I came in after loop 2, I looked at my watch and I did the math. I was like, I could get 50 miles in under 12 hours. That would be my fastest 50 miles. Let's do this. Let's go. And I just went out. I left there. I left camp, got back on the trail, and chased down that 12 hours. I went right through the first aid station. I don't even think I took any water or anything from the aid station. I was just like, I'm good. Did checked, bottles good, nutrition good. Let's go. Let's keep on going. And I hit 50 miles in 12 hours and 21 minutes. So I didn't hit the goal, but I was just like, all right, hey, cool. I'm in great position for myself. I feel good mentally. Legs are okay. And then after that, it was probably about mile 53 or 4 where my legs started feeling okay. Um,
That
my
sounds
like
about
the
right.
Yeah,
That's about right.
the the muscles and tendons right there between like the top of your foot going up the middle of your shin, those were starting to get sore, started to swell and tighten up. Um, so out of the whole race, A lot of people say that loop two is the worst. My worst loop was the second half of loop three. So it was the second 10 miles of loop three that was the worst that I had in that whole race.
So would you
Um,
say that was that your first like low point, like really low
I,
that you hit, or
honestly, you probably like really think about low points. That was a low point, but I don't see that as a low point. I just saw it as like, oh, this is happening. All right, let's keep on moving. Keep moving, keep walking, power walked. I learned how to power walk from my friend Jessica, from the multiple runs that we've done. It's just like that girl walks my jogging pace. So it's just like, all right, let's walk, 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 keep moving, keep moving. That was it. Got to aid station, got back to headquarters, and back at loop when I was out on loop two, my girlfriend, crew chief Lupita, she acquired me a pacer for loop four. Um, she was one of my friends, Tom, here, or friend of the community in San Diego, Tom. He was there, and he was able to wanted to pay somebody, and so Lupita was able to get him to pace me for loop four. So I knew I had a pacer coming in with me after three. I told her, all right, this is what's going on. We took care of it, or just got my pack ready. Lupita was on point. She really was on point with crew chief. Um, she made sure that I always had a bean cheese burrito in my pack, a mini Coke in my pack. Took out the trash, uh, assessed what gels I needed, what nutrition I needed, a dry buff, a dry ice bandana. She was on point. It was there ready for me. So I didn't stay in headquarters for too long. But she was able to get me a pacer for loop four. And so after loop three, yeah, I would say like those last 4 miles, 5 miles were 10 miles were like the low point because I felt a little miserable, but I knew it's like, all right, I'm not done yet. I'm still got a lot to go. I'm still got a lot to go. I'm in a good position time wise. I already did the math in my head, but when but I didn't let my crew pacer know that. When I told Tom, I was like, "Hey, your job, get me back here before sunrise." And it was, I think we left like at 1 o'clock in the morning. No, 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 it was no, I think it was before 1 o'clock that I got back to camp after loop three. So I knew like I had plenty of time, but I wasn't going to let him know. I didn't want him to know that we want to get back here before sunrise. And so, like, showed me a picture later when we were doing a recap on our date night afterwards, and she showed me a picture, and it's like, you looked, and I didn't believe her. I didn't believe her at throughout the whole weekend that she says that I looked horrible, that I looked bad, until she showed me the picture. And in the picture, I'm like, oh wow, I look horrible there. But you want to know the thing? I may look horrible there, but mentally, I was ready. Mentally, I was ready to get back out there. And as soon as I stepped out of our tent, it was go time. I went. I was going fast. Once when I got back onto the trail, I was going fast for the first couple of miles. I think I dropped it down to like 10 something pace, like a low 10 pace. And usually I was like, I try to keep it like 11 and 12 pace, 12-minute pace. And I just got a second wind with how my legs were, with my shins. I got a second wind, booked it. We got through the aid stations quickly. Um, Tom just kind of slew me down because it's like, all right, all right, all right, I'm going too fast here, but I knew what sections I could move. So we were talking a lot, and I made sure like I let him know, hey, this section's coming up. Let's go ahead and here, get going. Once when we got up to past Coyote, that's when we hit all the rocks. That's like I don't, no, I'm not running this section. I'm going to walk this section until for the next couple of miles because I don't want to deal with these rocks and tripping, kicking them is not fun. I don't like it. Then let's see. Uh, I started falling asleep on the course. So after the first aid station, probably about 3 miles after that aid station, I started falling, dozing off, going side to side a little bit more. Um, Tom noticing it's like he started. I think he had me go in front of him, and we kept on moving, power hiking, jogging what we can. I took my Knack macchiato espresso whatever bars, and those things are dope. I really like those ones. Just
Yeah,
eye
those are
candy.
good.
They helped me out. So it's kept going. Got to Jackass A station, and I told him, hey, I need 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes of sleep. Here's my water. Here's my bottles. Just put water. 5 minutes. So took 5 minutes of a nap. Uh, he woke me up. He was like, "All right, let's go." He gave me soup, drank the soup, and then we were back at it again. And then for that next section, for the next 5.5 miles to the aid station, I told him this section's a little bit more flatter. I cannot run the full thing. Can we please do 5 minutes on, 1 minute off? And he freaking kept it. He got me going. 5 minutes. I'm sure he went like probably like 7, 8 minutes over. But I didn't care because he was doing his job of getting me through that section and keeping me going and running. Um, and but yet also still giving me that break and gave me that 1 minute break before going another 5, 6 minutes. And so he got me through that section pretty quickly, and it was just awesome having him as a pacer. Honestly, if I
Yeah.
next time for sure, he's going to be on my list of, hey, are you available this day? Uh, and then after Rattlesnake, we had 3.7 miles to go to get back to the aid station. I started falling asleep again, and back to side to side, stumbling here and there. And another runner that was coming up behind us. She was finishing. I think she was finishing her hunt. Was she finishing 100? I don't know. I don't know if she was finishing the 100K or the 100 miles. But she was on. She had trekking poles. I remember that. Her pacer was highly encouraging. We found out that her name was Ursula. So whoever this Ursula person is, freaking thank you so much, because Tom got me to latch onto her, and coming into into the last three miles, we were booking, we were cooking through that section really fast. I stayed on her to like the last quarter mile to the headquarters, and then I was like, all right, slow down, coming in. I still came in fast after that loop. I remember taking it. Did I? No, I kept my pack on, or did I throw the pack off? I don't remember. But I came in fast, got back into the tent, and I told Lupita, 15 minutes. I need 15 minutes of sleep because I was tired. I was tired. So I sat down, threw my legs up on the cooler. She threw the blanket on top of me, and I remember it taking me a long time for my breathing to slow down, enough so I could just fall asleep. and so loop 4 was the best loop ever of that whole race. That one was my favorite loop of the whole time, with the sleep, but just being able to really see that being how tired and how many miles have already gone under these legs, all the crap that my legs are feeling, I'm able to still book it like that. And so I
And at this
slept.
point, the sun, what? The sun's up, or
Not yet. It's still well
it's?
dark.
Oh wow, yeah,
So
you crushed that one then, yeah.
we we crushed that loop very well, very quickly. Um, Overall, I stayed in the aid station for headquarters for about an hour. So I got 18 minutes of nap. Then I just was just bringing myself back up. Um, Took time because I knew I had more than enough time to finish the last loop. So I actually was taking the time to eat food, go to the bathroom, have some coffee, and mentally get myself ready for the last loop. Uh, and was it? No, it was after loop 3 that I had a really mean blister on my pinky toe that I had to pop because that's when I changed shoes. So my feet were good,
And what kind of
and
socks do you use when you run?
since 2006, I have stopped running in socks. I don't like the feel of them while running. My feet, the compression of the socks just is too tight for my feet, especially when they swell. I feel my feet sliding more in the shoe, um, and I like to feel my shoe. So it took me probably about 2 years to develop good enough calluses to where they don't hurt when they blister anymore. So spoiler alert, I finished 100 miles without socks. Um, and only two really mean blisters and 5 toenails gone. But I think the toenails was from the rocks. So, uh,
So you changed the shoes, and then was that like pretty refreshing once you did that?
it was because the shoes they were wet from the sponge baths, and there was just a lot of moisture in the shoes. So changing out of them into dry shoes was really nice, good relief and such. Still developed one blister with those shoes on, but that was already a blister that was developing from the wet pair.
I would say that's pretty good considering like no socks and yeah, all the conditions.
Yeah.
So what did you start the race off in? What shoe?
Uh, on clouds surfer trails, the
Yeah,
surfer
dude,
trails.
I haven't got to run in the trails, but I just love the regular surfer. That thing
It
is
was Yeah, I tried
super
on a couple of
comfortable.
different shoes in training. I knew I really liked On for the weight, the structures of those shoes. I got myself a pair of the old Ultra Pros. No, not the Pros, the Ultra 2s. But they were just
Okay.
too narrow, a little bit too hard. Um, and then I tried on Solomon's Aero Glides at South Bay 24 Hours, and that caused the back of my knee to swell and get agitated. And took me at hour 8, and then it was not the shoe. But once when I put on the Surfer Trails, big difference. So I was like, all right, that's it. This is the shoe I'm going to run in. It's going to be these shoes. So I had two pairs with me at Javelina.
So you just went to a fresh pair then for that
Yep,
last loop?
yep, fresh pair. Fresh pair for the last two loops.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
so
you put the fresh pair on and you're just like, all right, like let's get this thing done
yep.
or
That was loop 4. So that's when I got when I moved was on loop 4 with a fresh, clean, dry pair of shoes. So once when I was done with 4, got my rest, got some delicious pancakes, got coffee. Um, I was ready to go back out for the last loop. And so once when I stepped out, started moving, I forgot my sunglasses, so I wasn't going to turn back around. Um, Luckily enough, I was in a space where I had reception still. I was able to call Lupita, hey, forgot my sunglasses. Can you bring them over across? Luckily enough, she just had to go like straight across to hand them off to me. So got them, thankfully. And once when I got to the trailhead, um, the uh, the emotion started sinking in, and it was the emotions of gratitude of that's it, I have finished my 100. Because right there, I already knew that I was done. I knew that I have accomplished it. But I was like, no, 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 nope, can't let it go. Cannot stuff it back down. No getting emotional yet. So kept on going. Moved, got through Coyote camp. Didn't get anything there. I just kept on moving. Everything was still full in my pack. Uh, Power hiked as much as I can, or ran as much as I can. Power hiked a lot more, and got to Jackass. Popped the second mean blister because that developed on my heel, and that one was a nasty one. Had to do that one with my fingernails. Uh,
Ooh.
and I kept on going. Got out of Jackass. I'm in the last second half of the loop. I get a text, "Hey, Juan's coming out to going to meet you out there to pace you in for the rest of it." I was like, "Oh, crap, not that guy, not that guy," because I
Not so
knew
fast.
it will. I will have to go fast because it's Juan and he paced Chewy and such, and everybody here knows that he's fast. But he caught up with me in the last. Um, let's see, in the last 10 miles. No, not the last 10 miles. The last. So that's four. Yeah, like about the last 10 miles of the just short of 10 miles of the loop. He caught up with me. He kept me pushing. He kept me moving. Um, then our friend Sarah Hernandez, she caught up to me, and it's like, oh no, let's get going. I definitely gotta keep on moving. And we were able to run with her pacer, Kimmy. No, Sarah. It was both Sarahs. Sarah, and we moved. We got to Rattlesnake, and didn't spend much time there either. I was just trying to get through these aid stations quickly. And then seeing the last sign there, headquarters 3.7 miles. Again, the emotion started sinking in again. And so, nope, 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 nope. Still stuff it down. Not there yet. I cannot let go yet. And just kept on power hiking. And probably within the last 2 miles is when we started moving again. Yeah, that's when my legs were good, felt good enough to start running. And so we ran the last 2 miles of the course, and then finally into getting to headquarters. Once when I got literally past the portal from the trail to headquarters, out in the last 800 meters, that's it. Freaking it, I started letting it go. It was just all the gratitude started sinking in, all the feelings started coming out, and um, ran that last 800. Feet, my ankles were just swollen, aching, shuffling, but that was it. I was coming in, and just tears, so much gratitude coming in into that past that finish line, straight into Lupita's arms, and just let it all go. Um, I saw Juan gave me the footage about a week or two ago, about a week and a half or so ago, and it's those feelings just came back again. Just the sheer gratitude of that race and of that accomplishment of everything that went on this year. The fundraising, the support of the community, all the bad races, all the struggles I was going through this year, um, all every everything that happened this year, everything that's gone on in my life is just nothing but gratitude in that race. And crossing that line was just the biggest, biggest whatever. I don't know how to describe it, but it's just like everything leading up to this was just gratitude and love from everybody in my whole life that supported me. Lupita that supported me throughout this whole year and has seen me in the lows of life in general and seeing me in the highs, and it's just always been supportive. It's just so grateful for her, so grateful for the Water Project, Rising Hearts, San Diego Trail Runners, um, San Diego running community in general, all my friends, Jessica, Daniel, um, everybody that I ran miles with, Marcos, Sarah, Sarah's in general, Kimmy, Carney at South Bay Wine. It's just so thankful for everybody that's that helped me get out there and get to this point. And so finishing Javelina first 100, it was it was a big thank you letter to everybody, and a big thank you letter to Xander at Wander Project and Jordan at Rising Hearts. Absolutely pure gratitude. And so you asked earlier about my lowest. Honestly, I felt like I had zero lows in this whole race. I was just in the best mindset from start to finish. Zero doubts that I was not going to finish it. And so absolutely, absolutely special race.
Dang, dude, that like, yeah, that sounds like a crazy first 100 mile experience. You're kind of like, you talking about it is kind of bringing me back to like, when I did my first 100, because I feel like I don't know if you got this when you crossed the line, but it was just almost like a giant. It kind of sounded like you did. It was just like a giant reel of like everything, like the
Mm-hmm.
highlights, like everything, like leading up to the race. Because when I crossed, it was like a giant reel, like replayed, and it was like leading events leading up to the race. And it sounds
Yeah,
like you kind of got like the same deal. Yeah, that's awesome, man. You had a lot of support going into that, and it's like I think that was a huge thing is that kept you from like hitting those lows, and you were just you had the ultra running community was behind you the whole time. Like
yeah,
that's another thing. That's like the main reason I just love this sport is like everyone, as much as they're trying to get you to do dumb things like sign up for 200-mile plus races and
right.
all that, they're also going to be there for you when the worst times and also like the best times.
Yeah, so it was it was pretty magical of an experience. And yeah, like in reflection and with his conversations with Lupita and recaps, it's just like I I felt amazing throughout the whole time, but everybody else was just so worried about me, and I was just like, "Oh, I am sorry that made you worry so badly," but it's it that just goes to like how much care that everybody has for me, towards me, to make sure I make it. Because she was keeping my family updated on the race. My dad and my sister didn't even sleep that night because they were just so worried about me. And yeah, after the race, when we got back to the hotel room, it's just like a huge sigh of relief for both of us because it's just like done. We the anxiety, the stress, the fears, the uncertainties are over. We can finally relax. We finished it and it's done, and we made a goal. We did it.
And I don't know about you, does it, because for me, I feel like, did it almost hit a little harder like a couple days or even like a week after? Kind of like you kind of let it sit in a little and then it's just kind of like,
Yeah. In conversations when finding out like her perspective or her experience, it no, excuse me. It, I was able to put together more pieces of the story of Javelina and of the 100 mile for us. Because like she said, like I didn't look, I every single one, loop that I came in, she didn't want me to go back out because I just looked bad. But me, I met internally, I was good. I was ready. I knew that once when I stepped out of the tent, I'm good. We're going. But I didn't feel horrible. I didn't see myself as that. So it was interesting to see her perspective of me in the race when coming in and seeing the time, seeing me limping, seeing me exhausted, and then having to see me get back out there and do it again. And knowing that I'm just going to look worse, or not knowing if I'm going to fall down, break my ankle, or end up stopping in general and just calling it quits later. So she was an absolute trooper, and she helped that. Luckily enough, there was a bunch of us in the crew tents to, I guess, help distract her for the next 5 to 6 hours until I came back in. But yeah, she was on point the whole time. Just awesome. She
yeah,
is
that's
available
awesome.
as a crew chief, so
How much does she charge?
let's go with $100.
No, that's awesome, man. It sounds like, yeah, Lupita, like awesome girlfriend slash crew chief. It sounds like she was even when you were just dying, she was just still there, like doing what she was supposed to do. Getting you
Yeah.
what you need, getting you back out on the loop. And yeah, that's awesome, man. Great job, Lupita. All right, so you get done with Javelina 100. Congrats, man. You get the buckle. Um, how long was it before like you actually ran or what?
2 weeks.
2 weeks? Okay.
It took me about 2 weeks. The swelling was bad. The walk from the camp to the car was the worst walk of my whole life. Um, Using my chair as a crutch, using Marco as a someone to lean on to help me get over there. It was just the worst, and it was like only like 200 meters of a walk, but that was very painful of a walk. The swelling went down probably about the Wednesday after, so 3 days, 3 to 4 days. The swelling went down. I was able to wiggle my toes on Tuesday. Race ended Sunday. wiggle toes on Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, swelling went down. Now it's getting more movement in my ankles. And yeah, the first run was like 2 weeks afterwards. 4 mile, easy, slow 4 miles with SDTR on Monday. And then, yeah, 2 weeks to start running again.
Yeah, that's not too bad. I know
No,
some
it's
people
quick
for the
recovery.
first 100, they're getting taken out for like a month plus,
Yeah.
like still jacked up, and so yeah, that's and I feel like too, it's like, you've done all that running your whole life, and it just because I feel like too also recovery is gonna take into play like your experience with running, how fit you are, and all that. It's like gonna come into factor of like how fast you're able to kind of get back out on the trail.
I am nowhere near fit.
But I
I've
mean,
been under
like I
200
feel
pounds
like
for years.
I'm not okay. It doesn't mean like that, but like
Different kind of
running,
fit.
you know what I mean? Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Like if someone that wasn't running fit, it would take them so much longer to
Yeah.
recover than what you did. So yeah, pretty quick
Yeah.
turnaround, man. That's
Yeah.
cool.
My body's used to the abuse that I've given it for 20 plus years.
It knows what's coming, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so what any like recommendations? Say someone comes up to you, they're like, Walter, I'm thinking about doing a 100 miler. What are maybe like three things that you'd recommend them to do?
Three recommendations. I would recommend them to why do 100? Go 200. Go up.
Yeah, do the
No.
longer one. Why
Yeah,
not?
do the longer one. Um, Figure out your nutrition, hydration. Figure out your nutrition, hydration. Get used to running tired. Get used to being tired. Get out. And it was the full day work day. You're exhausted. Get out and do some miles. Just get used to being tired. And then ultimately, you just gotta make sure you're in the right mindset. Figure out what your mantras are. Figure out a purpose. Do not let yourself get in that negative space. Because I've been around a couple runners. I've seen it. We've all seen it of like them just broken, and a lot of it's just mentally. So I will let them know. Start working mentally on your mental health. Make sure you're in the right mindset going into this race. Remember your purpose of the race. Remember whatever will help you stay out of those dark caves. Those will be
Dude,
like my
yeah,
top recommendations. Yeah.
definitely I would say because it's like nutrition. It sounds like you hit your nutrition pretty good just because like I feel like a lot of lows in ultra running come from like you're either not on your hydration or you're lacking calories, and then it's like again too those like you were saying you got to get used to running tired, whether that's doing like back to back long runs or like another thing that you were saying is you go work, 8-10 hour shift. If you have time, like you don't want to go, no one wants to go on that run after work. But like
Mhm.
that's huge because it's like you've been on your feet all day, like mentally you're tired. You maybe if you didn't fuel enough that, while you're at work, like you're getting kind of used to running on low fuel if you hadn't eaten anything that day. And then another, yeah, lastly, what you said mentally, like that's huge, man. Because it's like if you go into it, could be any race distance, go into that race like with a bad mindset, like it's not going to be a good outcome.
Yeah.
So,
And especially with being in the right mindset and being tired, you really figure out how capable of a person you are, um, how much more you can handle in those moments. Uh, that's something I've always shared the most with my student athletes was you can accomplish more than what you thought you could, and that if you are in the right mindset and really reflect and see, keep your mind and eyes open internally, that 3 miles is easy. It'll be hard to get there, but once when you get there, it's easy to go another 3 miles because you already know that you could finish 3 miles and just keep on going, keep on pushing. You'll see that you're not done yet. And that's always been some of my biggest inspirations to see out there are those that are discovering how far they could go. People running their first 5K, tears streaming down their face because they hurt, but they finished it. That's what's more inspiring to me, is seeing them be able to see that they can do that and realizing that they are capable of accomplishing something that they didn't think that they could do. But I know that they could do it.
Dude, exactly. And one thing too that's like when say someone who whatever is just getting into running and they see us we're doing these big races and then they'll kind of be like, "Oh, but I see you're doing all these high mileage and stuff." But it's like at the end of the day, I always tell people this, like any distance ran is like that's incredible. Like
Yeah,
everyone's on their own journey. Like just getting out there and getting in, even if you can go run a mile, whatever, you can't run a mile, you're doing half a mile, quarter mile. That's awesome. Like don't compare yourself to what other people are doing, I guess is basically what I'm saying.
exactly. Yeah.
Like everyone
Draw in
like
the inspiration. Be
exactly.
inspired by it. Be inspired by the person that's in first place. Be inspired by the middle pack. Be inspired by the walkers in the very back. But you know what? In due time, that person is going to become someone else's inspiration. And that's what's always been the beauty of running, was that you're always going to figure out that you could do it. You're going to figure out your own body's abilities, and it's just you will always grow with the sport, no matter what age you are, no matter what level you are. If it's your first day, if it's your 50th year running, you're going to figure out that there's so much more in this sport, and you'll
100%.
inspire somebody. You'll inspire somebody. You draw inspiration from somebody else.
Man, you got me like pumped up right now. You're making me want to go out on another run, man. Seriously. That's awesome. Okay, so this is kind of what I want to end it on. So, what's next for you? Like, would
What's
you
next
do
for me?
another 100 miler, or were you kind of like you get it done and you're like, "Eh, I'm cool off the 100."
What's next for me is running the holiday half in a gingerbread onesie in a couple weeks. Um, that's the next race I have. Next, I'm trying not to load up my calendar next year. I'm trying so hard not to, but it's so hard not to add on to the calendar. Um, I do plan on doing Pirates Cove. I'm bouncing back between 12 and 24 hours this time. PCT 50, I want to redeem myself at. That was my second DNF ever this year, was PCT 50, so I want to redeem myself there. Cuyamaca 100K next year. Uh, so that's where I'm at right now. I'm trying to keep it low. I'm not done doing hundreds. I'll do 100 again. If I get into SD 100 this year, I'll go for it. If not, maybe for sure plan one in 2027. I'm not eager to jump into one right now, but like I said, my body understands. So I like to abuse it with these ultras. So if it pops up, if 100 pops up and it's there, then I'll do it. Um, Maybe try aim for a sub 24 at a time race for the 100. But 200 and up, that's further down the line. I'm not there yet, but I'm not going to say I'll never do it. I'm just not there yet.
You'll get there
Yeah.
eventually. Well, anyways, Walter, you got any like shout outs you want to give anyone before we close this episode?
Um, Always a big shout out to my favorite run group ever, San Diego Trail Runners. Daniel is one of my inspirations um, in this sport. South Bay YMCA Trail Runners, they've always been a great support for everybody out here as well. Um, all the other San Diego run groups, they're all great, amazing. You always find me there. Always happy to be with them. It's it brings so much joy. Uh, Big shout out to Rising Hearts again. It's a great organization, fun, charitable organization. Um, they do good, lots of good out there. Wander Project, thank you again so much for your support and the opportunity to do this. Uh, Thank you, Tim. You're been a freaking stud in this program and in San Diego running scene. Um, and of course, the biggest thing shout out is to Lupita, my girlfriend. She's absolutely amazing, and she's always welcome to be my crew chief anytime. Uh, and yeah, thank you very much for massaging my horrible looking ugly feet afterwards. So no, those yeah, that's what I could think of.
Sweet, man. Well, if anyone wants to find Walter, he's at SD Trail Runners every Monday at 6 p.m. Switch off between the Santee side and the Claremont Mesa side. When SBY Trail Runners is going on, you could catch him there. Basically, you could bring up Walter's name at almost any of the run clubs in San Diego. Someone's going to know him. He's a great guy, huge influence in the running community. And yeah, man, thanks for coming on the episode. It was awesome.
No problem. Thank you very much, Tim, for all this, and keep it going, buddy.
Thank you, man. And for our listeners, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Ovando Running Podcast. And we will catch you next week. Oh,